Alright, everybody coming back for more trailers, this time going into Venom, which is fitting as I just came off watching the Spider-Man and Spider-Man video game, which also has Venom in it. So this is perfect for me. You don't know that because you're watching these on your own and you don't care. So I'm just going to get into the middle of this. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just get started and get looking. Alrighty. Here we go. Can I get this working? Wrong button.
Yeah. All I ever wanted in this world is carnage.
You know this is good. Oh.
We should be out there snacking on bad guys. I am a predator.
Man.
I need to be free.
You have got to get control of your aggression.
We
will get hauled off into Area 51.
Oh, okay.
You live in my body. You live by my rules.
I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Please let me fix it so I can play it again. You are a loser.
He's being mean. Thought they had this all settled, but I guess some growing pains.
I want to give you my story. People love serial killers.
Cletus, why me?
What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine.
Oh, whoa.
Ooh. I have tasted blood before, and that is not it.
I was literally trying to explain how he gets... Ooh.
All I ever wanted in this world is carnage.
Oh. Oh. Oh! 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 World's worst Frenchie. Oh.
I'm not a crazy man. Are you a vengeful one?
Oh. Holy shit.
Whoa. Where you going?
That is a red one.
You need to come out.
Wait.
Now. I will let you eat everybody.
Promise.
I promise.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. What was that?
Betty, you feel like home to me. Like family.
Oh, wow.
You could just say I'm happy for you.
That was going to be us.
I am happy for you.
No.
Oh, what?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
This needs some serious couples counseling.
Okay, Okay, well, this answered a few questions. Like, when I first watched the first trailer here, I was always questioning where Carnage is going to come from. And it looks like they're answering that to some extent. Like, it's giving us the idea that he bit a piece of him off, and then in which case... I don't in that scenario he may not be an actual symbiote in the sense he's more of like a symbiote human hybrid, because that's the way it looks like, where he transforms into it as opposed to being covered by a symbiote. He almost morphs into one. And he also, with the whole sort of intangibility of him, that he can open up holes in himself, he's not as solid. Like Venom can't do that because there's an eddy inside the thing. He can't just move out of the way like that. So perhaps it gives the idea that there isn't necessarily a symbiote and is just Cletus Cassidy as a monstrous thing. Of course, that's the one theory. The other theory that I'd want to suggest is for those who know the series or know the main storyline, it's that Carnage is an offspring of Venom that just happened to attach to Cletus Cassidy. And I'm just going to put it out there. It's like probably not the story, but I mean, I want to point out the weird food thing from the first one, that all this weird stuff he was cooking, his excessive need for chocolate, the aggression, the homicidal rage, the odd mood swings and aggression, totally all classic signs of pregnancy, right? Typical symbiote pregnancy. It would be funny if they pulled that. And maybe that's what they might try and do, is like they're giving us this scene to let us think that Carnage is just a result of symbiote contamination, or whatever you want to call it, and that it's an offspring of him that they're going to have, and just pull a twist on us. That would be funny, but I'd wonder how they'd do it. I'd figure, though, if they could pull it off, it'd be these guys. So intriguing. But otherwise, going back to Carnage, is that he was always more powerful in the series. As said before, he's an offspring of Venom, and the offspring and symbiotes are always more powerful than their previous generations. So it's understandable that he seems to have a lot more abilities. But the sort of intangibility of it all, I think I know of Carnage, and I know some of his stuff, but I'm not sure. I think he was that sort of more of a fluid body, like he could be somewhat intangible, like he is in this shot where he opened a hole in his body. I think he was capable of stuff like that. I don't think Venom is capable of that. Or he definitely wasn't in earlier stuff. He might have developed that later. But yeah, it's sort of, there's the sort of the weird thing where Venom is reluctant to face a red symbiote. It's like he almost knows what it is, and kind of gives the impression that maybe symbiote color has something to do with their capabilities. So it's like he knew that a red one is extremely dangerous, because it is, by the look of it. It's got easily all the capabilities that Riot had, all the weapons. He's got projectile weapons. He's got blades, he's got all sorts, and on top of that, he has a somewhat form of intangibility, as stated. It would be very hard to injure him, because he'd absorb impacts. So it's interesting. And then, of course, there's the girl here, who was introduced in the first. I didn't realize that she had a sonic ability. I thought she was like telekinetic or something from the first one, but now it's definite that she's got some sort of sonic screech. I don't know offhand who that character is supposed to be. If you know who it is, I'd love to know. If it's confirmed, by the way. Guesses are fine, but like if you know who it is confirmed, then by all means give me a comment. But I imagine from context, the limited context that I have, she's a superpowered individual who is inside Ravencroft, which is an insane asylum in Marvel, I think. But I think it's a combination of. I was never quite sure if it's an insane asylum where they just experiment on superpowered people, or it's just a cover for experimenting on superpowered people. So it's not actually an insane asylum. So it's just they use it as an excuse to lock up superpowered individuals so they can experiment on them. Don't quite know. But she's in Ravencroft with superpowers, presumably being experimented on. And from the previous ones, talking where Carnage was talking about leaving people in darkness, waiting for somebody who doesn't come, gives the impression that our Sonic Girl is involved with Carnage, that he knows her. And possibly, and by the look of it, I think we saw some shots of him breaking in to Ravencroft to get her out, possibly. Because she certainly got free at one point. So it's interesting to see if maybe she will be instrumental in stopping Carnage. Because that's classic weapon against symbiotes is fire or sonic attacks. Because those are their two major vulnerabilities. Even though in the comics, Carnage is less susceptible to these. He's still vulnerable to these two effects, but he's less vulnerable than Venom is. Because next generations are always stronger than the previous. But it could also be that they might twist it around here. Because, again, don't quite know how Carnage is going to work. but his intangible body might be, I'd go with the theory that his intangible body is somewhat more unstable and therefore more susceptible to something like sonic attacks. So it might be that ultimately it'll be up to our Sonic Girl to kill Venom, or Carnage, sorry, not Venom. But otherwise, or something like that. I guess it'll twist around like that. It'll be fun to watch it. But it's it's looking at the relationship between Venom and Eddie is so much fun. I love the dynamic between them. You saw some of it in the first one where it's kind of like roommates sort of having their odd space where he's, Venom is cooking up all this bizarre stuff and he's just sort of deal with his antics. But it looks now like they're struggling to, it's like in the first film, it's like they settled this, or figured like they set up these rules, don't eat people. But he seems to be struggling, Venom seems to be struggling with this, so I'm expecting it's going to be fun, but I also expect it to be much more darker. I wouldn't say necessarily a horror film, but I mean, Carnage is not a comedic villain. He's a Bad News Bears villain. So, bad shit's going to happen with him involved. And as demonstrated with that nightmare French kiss he gave one of the guards, it's going to be nasty. So, because, that's as his name implies, he enjoys carnage. So it's going to be, because there wasn't a lot in the first Venom. It's like, yeah, they bit off a few heads, but you never saw much blood and you never saw the aftermath of it. So I imagine there will be a lot more of that in this one. Can't wait for this, and thankfully, if I'm not mistaken, this is relatively close. It is this fall. I'm going to look up and see if it doesn't give us, or at least this one didn't give me a direct debut release date, so I'll have to check that, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty soon if it's this fall. So cross my fingers that I don't have to wait super long for this, like the 2 years for Marvel Spider-Man. Oh, jeez. Sorry, I'm ranting about this, but as again, it looks fantastic. Can't wait for it. I think it's gonna be great. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like it. Comment below, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.